My precious child, be still for a single moment. Halt your racing thoughts and let your hands rest. Heaven has paused the entire universe simply to reach you today. You did not stumble upon this specific video by accident. The algorithm absolutely did not bring you here. I intercepted your feed at this exact second because a massive spiritual extraction is taking place to protect your beautiful soul. Your nervous system is screaming at you right now for a reason. You must not look away from this important message. A profound plan has been set into motion in the unseen realm, and if you choose to ignore this divine warning today, I cannot protect you from the dark confusion that will follow. You must stay with me until the very end. I am going to reveal the exact truth about what is happening in the dark. We must go deeper, because what you are feeling right now is not new. I know exactly what happens when the rest of the world is deeply asleep. You wake up at exactly 3 a.m. with your heart racing. The room feels incredibly heavy and suffocating. You stare at the dark ceiling while your mind spins with unexplainable thoughts. People tell you it is just normal stress or a sleep disorder. They are completely wrong. Listen to me very carefully right now. Your physical body is reacting to a massive spiritual disturbance. I see you pushing through your days with an invisible exhaustion that no one seems to understand. You offer a bright and happy smile for everyone around you, but your own spirit is literally gasping for fresh air. Your weary shoulders carry a massive weight that feels exactly like solid iron. I have watched you start every single morning fighting a thick brain fog. You drink your coffee and try to force yourself to focus. But there is a deep ache in your bones that sleep never seems to fix. You feel entirely drained before the day even begins. This is absolutely not because you are lazy or failing at life. You are a prepared vessel and you are not broken. I see the tears you cry in the absolute silence of your room. You hide your intense struggle because you know others will just offer empty advice. They tell you to just think positive or try harder to relax. They have absolutely no idea what it feels like to carry a massive spiritual target on your back. You are a genuine empath living in a cold world that constantly demands your light. Your deep fatigue is not a random medical mystery. It is a direct result of the spiritual physics operating around you right now. When you enter a room, your high-frequency aura instantly exposes the hidden darkness. Unseen dark forces are constantly trying to siphon your pure energy to survive. The intense exhaustion you feel is the aftermath of a brutal war you are fighting in your sleep. This brings us back to the exact hour of 3 a.m. The dark elite want you to believe you are just an anxious person losing your mind. They engineer modern stress to keep you completely distracted and doubting yourself. But your sudden awakenings are not random panic attacks. They are highly calculated divine interruptions sent directly from heaven. Your spirit is serving as a radar detecting spiritual attacks. Think back over these incredibly difficult recent weeks. You have felt a strange tightness in your stomach whenever certain people speak to you. That is your spiritual alarm system screaming to protect you from danger. You absorb the hidden trauma of everyone around you without even trying. You are acting as a human battery for broken souls that utterly refuse to heal themselves. It is no wonder your vessel is tired. You always try to see the good in people who only want to use you. You give them the benefit of the doubt until your own cup is completely empty. And when you finally draw a boundary, they manipulate the situation to make you feel like the terrible villain. This heavy cycle has left you feeling entirely isolated and questioning your sanity. But I am here to tell you that your magnificent kindness is never a weakness. Take one deep breath right now. Hold it in your chest. Let that powerful truth settle deeply into your weary bones. You do not have to carry this immense weight all by yourself anymore. I am stepping in because your long season of silent suffering is officially coming to an end. I am standing guard over your mind, and your precious heart tonight. Before I reveal what is coming next, you must understand the exact nature of this unseen battle. The enemy has been incredibly strategic in how they quietly drain your life force. They disguise themselves as normal inconveniences and everyday frustrations, but their dark pattern is always the exact same. Every time you are about to step into your true power, something pulls you back down into severe exhaustion. The spiritual warfare you have been fighting in absolute silence has left deep, invisible scars. But those exact scars are what qualify you for the massive shift that is approaching. You are the ultimate cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. And cycle breakers must always endure the heaviest spiritual resistance before their complete liberation. We are about to uncover the exact hidden mechanism that triggered all these attacks. I see the heavy burden you carry every single day. You give so much of your beautiful energy to others, but nobody ever stops to ask if you are okay. You sit in your room and wonder why your heart feels so completely drained. You have always been the strong one for your family, but being the strong one has left you completely exhausted. Your psychological isolation is not an accident. I know how deeply it hurts when you feel entirely misunderstood by the people you love. You try to explain your intense feelings. They look at you with blank stares and tell you that you are just too sensitive. It makes you want to retreat away from the world completely. You lock your doors and seek the safety of pure silence. But your sensitivity is a profound spiritual gift. You feel things deeply because you are meant to heal the brokenness around you. I watch you scroll through your phone late at night. You are desperately looking for someone who truly understands your silent pain. You feel like an alien stranded on a very cold planet. I promise, you are not going crazy. Let us talk about the severe physical toll this takes on your body. Your lower back constantly aches for no medical reason. Your digestion feels completely off when you are around negative people. This is your sensitive vessel processing the dense trauma of the heavy world. You are absorbing toxic energy like a sponge just to keep the peace, and it is slowly destroying your health. You have sacrificed your own comfort 1,000 times to make others happy. You stay quiet when they disrespect your boundaries because you hate conflict. You swallow your righteous anger and offer them a gentle smile instead. But every time you suppress your true feelings, a small piece of your pure light dims. Heaven sees exactly how much they take from you. The people you helped the most are always the first to abandon you. When they were in deep darkness, you were their glowing lighthouse. You gave them your time and your money and your endless compassion. But the moment you needed a shoulder to lean on, they suddenly disappeared. You were left standing alone in the cold rain. This betrayal cuts deeper than any physical wound. They called you selfish the very first time you finally said no. They punished you for refusing to be their emotional dumping ground anymore. You spent countless hours crying and wondering what you did wrong. You replayed every conversation in your head to find your mistake. But you made absolutely no mistake. Their toxic reaction was a confession of their own guilt. Your extreme exhaustion comes from grieving the relationships you thought were real. You mourn the family members who never truly saw your magnificent soul. You grieve the friends who only kept you around because you were convenient. It takes a massive amount of physical energy to process this level of deep heartbreak. You are physically tired because your spirit is in deep mourning. Take a slow, deep breath and release that tension right now. You do not need to perform for anyone anymore. You can take off the heavy mask of perfection you have been forced to wear. In this safe space, you are completely allowed to be tired. You are allowed to admit that you are running on empty. I am holding your weary spirit in the palms of my hands. I need you to completely reframe your mindset right this very second. Your period of total isolation is not a cruel punishment for your past mistakes. It is a highly necessary divine quarantine to protect your precious aura. Heaven had to remove those toxic people from your life immediately. They were secretly praying for your massive downfall while smiling directly in your face. They saw your immense potential, and it terrified their small minds. They knew you were destined for greatness before you even realized it yourself, so they tried to dim your blinding light with constant subtle criticisms. They wanted to keep you feeling small, so they could easily control your destiny. But their malicious plan has completely failed. You survived their worst attacks with your gentle heart still entirely intact. You are still breathing, and you are still deeply capable of love. That makes you a terrifying threat to the dark matrix that feeds on human fear. They threw everything they had at you. But you are the ultimate cycle breaker, and you simply refuse to stay down in the dirt. Stop scrolling and listen to the quiet whisper inside your own heart. Your physical body is reacting to this raw truth right now. You can feel the heavy chains of guilt finally snapping off your tired shoulders. You suddenly understand that your lifelong struggle was never your fault. It was a vicious spiritual attack designed to stop your divine acceleration. If your spirit confirms this raw truth, gently press the like button to seal your energetic alignment with heaven. Do this as a physical declaration that you are finally choosing yourself today. Your simple action creates a powerful ripple in the unseen spiritual realm. It signals to the universe that you are ready to drop the heavy burdens of your painful past. We must prepare your vessel for the massive shift that is currently approaching. You cannot step into your billionaire shift while carrying the dead weight of ungrateful people. You must forgive yourself for trusting the wrong souls. Their inability to appreciate your light is entirely their tragic loss. We will now uncover exactly who orchestrated this brutal attack against you. Let me completely reframe your entire reality, right here and now. This was never just a normal misunderstanding with difficult people. What you have been experiencing is a very real spiritual war. The extreme fatigue you feel every single day is actually combat trauma. You are fighting invisible battles in the spiritual realm, while the rest of the world remains completely blind to the absolute truth. They want you to think you are just unlucky in life. They desperately want you to believe that your endless string of toxic relationships is somehow completely your own fault. But you must absolutely reject that terrible lie right now. You are a high-frequency soul living in a deeply corrupted system. The dark matrix operates by keeping incredibly powerful souls exactly like you permanently trapped in a vicious cycle of endless exhaustion. I am going to tell you exactly who has been draining your precious energy. But first you must realize why they targeted you in the first place. They did not target you because you were weak and defenseless. They targeted you because your magnificent kindness is a massive spiritual weapon that they are terrified of facing. You walked into the room, and your brilliant aura instantly exposed their rotting souls. We call them narcissists or energy vampires, but they are actually spiritual parasites. They completely lack their own internal source of divine light, so they must hunt for beautiful souls like yours to survive the darkness. They latch onto your endless empathy and slowly siphon away your bright joy. And they do this terrible thing while constantly convincing you that you are the crazy one. You always wonder why you attract these deeply broken people. It is because you are a shining lighthouse in a world full of sinking ships. They see your incredible strength, and they want to steal it for themselves. They mirror your best qualities to pull you directly into their dangerous web. Once you are fully trapped, they begin the slow and calculated process of completely dismantling your beautiful self-esteem. Pay close attention to this next part, because the enemy tried to hide this. Every time you started to build real momentum in your life, they created sudden chaos. They picked ridiculous fights right before your most important job interviews or big events. This was absolutely not a random coincidence. It was a highly calculated strike to destroy your focus and keep you entirely dependent on their toxic validation. They secretly hated the fact that you did not actually need them. You are a direct extension of the divine, and you hold immense natural power. Their greatest fear is that you will wake up and realize your own absolute sovereignty. So they kept you constantly distracted with their endless emotional drama. A tired and broken warrior cannot pick up their heavy sword to fight back. But here is the massive spiritual blind spot they did not account for. The universe was carefully recording every single time they lied to your face. Heaven watched as they tried to completely ruin your glowing reputation behind your back. While they were busy celebrating their fake victories, you were quietly building immense spiritual muscle. Your absolute silence became your greatest defensive shield against their constant attacks. Your silence was never a retreat from their toxic battlefield. It was a highly calculated move that permanently severed their energetic fuel supply while they were looking away. By walking away and refusing to argue, you literally starved them of your golden light. They are now wandering in the dark and frantically looking for another easy victim. But they will never find another pure soul exactly like you. Take a deep breath right now and ground your chaotic energy. Feel the powerful truth rushing back into your tired veins. You were not the poor victim trying to survive the heavy rain. You were the magnificent storm all along. God allowed them to test you so you could finally recognize your own unbreakable strength. The intense pain was actually a necessary preparation for your ultimate destiny. The spiritual federal agents have been silently gathering massive evidence against your abusers. There is a dark secret about their past actions that is about to rapidly surface. I am going to show you exactly how their fake empire is going to completely collapse. But you must prepare your heart, because the sudden karma will be absolutely brutal. They thought they could easily manipulate a chosen one and escape the consequences. They forgot that heaven violently protects its most precious warriors. Every tear you cried in secret was collected as a heavy stone of judgment against them. You thought the universe was ignoring your desperate prayers for justice. But divine justice never operates on our impatient human timeline. The universe was simply waiting for them to walk entirely into their own inescapable trap. This explains why your internal radar wakes you up at 3 a.m. Your spirit is sensing the massive shift in the spiritual atmosphere just before the terrible storm hits. The enemy is currently experiencing a deep, unexplainable panic because their divine protection has been entirely removed. They know exactly what they did to you, and they know the heavy bill is finally due. You do not have to lift a single finger to destroy them. We must talk about the profound silence you are sitting in right now. You look around and see that your circle has become incredibly small. The heavy quiet in your life feels absolutely deafening some days. You wonder if the universe has completely forgotten about your beautiful existence. You see other people effortlessly moving forward and securing easy victories, while you feel entirely stuck in the heavy mud of endless waiting. But your current isolation is absolutely not a punishment for your past. I need you to completely reframe your reality regarding this deep loneliness. This is not abandonment. This is a highly strict divine quarantine. Heaven intentionally cleared the room because your energy was being constantly compromised by spiritual parasites. God had to separate you from the sleeping masses to protect your blinding light because your pure aura was attracting too many broken souls. You are currently wrapped in a powerful shield of spiritual isolation. Think about a rare and precious diamond being kept in a secure vault. You are that incredibly rare diamond, and you require absolute protection. If heaven allowed those toxic people to stay in your life, they would have completely destroyed your fragile foundation. They were secretly plotting to steal your upcoming harvest while pretending to be your loyal friends in the open daylight. So the universe violently removed them to ensure your ultimate survival. Now we must address the intense frustration you feel about your delayed blessings. You know exactly what I am talking about. You constantly experience the terrible almost pattern. Massive opportunities come incredibly close to you, and then they suddenly vanish at the very last second. You do the hard spiritual work, but your financial breakthrough stays locked behind a heavy door, leaving you completely exhausted and thoroughly confused. This makes you want to completely give up. But the delay in your massive blessing is absolutely not an accident. And it is certainly not because you lack faith or because you are lazy. The delay was never absence. Your hidden years of intense struggle were not empty years. They were necessary fallow years. And the difference between an empty year and a fallow year is exactly what separates a victim from a true master of reality. A field must rest in the dark winter before it can produce a heavy crop. Your spirit is currently resting in the deep soil of divine preparation. You are building massive internal capacity right now. If heaven handed you the billionaire shift while you were still bleeding from trauma, the heavy weight of that sudden wealth would completely crush you. God is healing your deep cracks so you can safely hold the incoming glory. The dark matrix constantly screams at you to hustle and grind harder. They want you to exhaust your physical body, chasing after empty worldly success. But you are a chosen one, and you operate on a completely different frequency. You do not need to struggle and fight for your basic survival anymore, because heaven has already written your name on a massive, energetic inheritance. You only need to surrender and align with the divine flow. Effortless favor is your true birthright. You might feel like you have been deeply buried in the dark dirt. The heavy pressure on your chest makes it incredibly hard to breathe sometimes. But you were never buried. You were planted. And every single powerful seed must break open in the terrifying darkness before it can finally reach the warm and comforting sunlight. The intense pressure you feel is just the outer shell of your old identity, completely shattering. The enemy desperately wants you to doubt this beautiful process. They whisper dark lies into your ear when you wake up at 3 a.m. They try to convince you that your period of painful waiting will last forever. But their malicious lies are rapidly losing their dark power over your mind, while your awakened spirit easily sees right through their cheap illusions. You are finally waking up to the magnificent truth of your royal identity. Your season of waiting is actually the greatest evidence of your immense calling. Average people receive their small rewards immediately because their capacity is incredibly shallow, but kingdom financiers require a much longer season of deep preparation. Heaven is currently expanding your energetic container to hold generational wealth, ensuring that your future children will never have to struggle like you did. You are about to become the permanent signpost of massive abundance for your entire family line. The heavy lifting in the unseen spiritual realm is already completely finished. The massive timeline shift you have been praying for is happening right now. You simply need to hold your high frequency and refuse to doubt the process. Do not let your logical brain hesitate for even a single second, because human logic is the exact weapon the Matrix uses to keep you poor. The universe is orchestrating a flawless victory on your behalf. Take one final deep breath and stand tall in your absolute divine authority. Release your deep fear and anxiety right into the open air. Type Amen in the comments right now as a prophetic act of agreement to lock this frequency. Your physical action today acts as a heavy anchor for your spiritual blessing, bringing the invisible miracle directly into your physical reality. Step fully into your role as the ultimate cycle breaker. Once you lock in this powerful alignment, the enemy completely loses their access to your mind. But we still have one critical piece of the massive puzzle left to uncover. They were so blinded by their toxic jealousy that they completely forgot the most important universal law, and this exact blind spot is what will trigger their sudden and absolute public downfall. The scales of divine justice are finally tipping deeply in your favor. We must examine the other side of this intense spiritual warfare right now. You have been sitting quietly in your deep season of isolation. You thought the enemy was winning because they looked completely unbothered. They paraded their fake happiness around while you were secretly crying in your dark room. They posted their perfect lives for everyone to see, but their arrogant public smile is actually a massive illusion, hiding their deep internal panic. I am going to reveal the exact fatal mistake they just made in the dark. They crossed a highly dangerous spiritual boundary without even realizing it. They thought your absolute silence meant you were completely defeated and broken. They mistook your peaceful retreat for weakness and decided to push even harder. But they did not realize they were attacking a heavily protected chosen one, and heaven takes that specific offense incredibly seriously today. Let us uncover the hidden mechanism that triggered their upcoming downfall. When you carry the massive light of a genuine empath, your energy is sacred. You are literally marked by the divine as a protected kingdom financier. The dark matrix knows they are never supposed to cross the ultimate line, but arrogant spiritual parasites always get greedy and consume far too much light, digging their own grave when they decided to totally destroy your character. They whispered terrible lies about you to anyone who would listen. They tried to completely isolate you from the few people you still trusted. They wanted to ensure you had absolutely no support system left to rebuild. But their malicious gossip was actually a massive spiritual boomerang, leaving their dirty hands. Every single lie they spoke into the atmosphere was carefully recorded by heaven, and universal law demands that dark energy must return to its original sender. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. Normal battles are fought with angry words and heavy physical actions, but spiritual warfare operates entirely on the strict laws of energetic physics. You never have to lift a single finger to defend your beautiful name. The divine forces are currently intercepting the heavy karma they launched at you, and heaven is aggressively redirecting that exact destructive force back to their doorstep. Think back to the heavy weight you felt at 3 a.m. last week. Your spirit was not panicking about your own future or your finances. Your highly advanced radar was detecting the massive storm gathering over their head. The spiritual atmosphere shifted violently because the cosmic judge finally struck the heavy gavel. The exact trap they carefully set for you has snapped completely shut on them, locking them inside the terrible nightmare they desperately tried to create for you. They are waking up today feeling an unexplainable and crushing sense of dread. Their chest is completely tight, and they cannot figure out why. The fake empire they built on your stolen energy is secretly shaking. They try to drain other people, but it does not work the same way. Nobody else possesses the incredibly rare diamond frequency that you naturally carry, leaving them literally starving in the dark because their primary fuel supply is gone. I need you to imagine this scenario clearly because it is happening right now. They are staring at their ceiling at 3 a.m. in absolute terror. The dark spirits they used to attack you have turned against them completely. This is not a cruel punishment from a highly angry and vengeful God. This is simply the raw mathematical consequence of attacking a pure vessel, because you cannot pour teichosic acid onto solid gold and expect to remain entirely unburned. The enemy is currently experiencing a massive and irreversible system crash. They thought their dark manipulation in the shadows would remain completely hidden forever. They thought you would permanently collapse when you finally walked away from them. But heaven just handed their secret files directly over to the ultimate cosmic judge. If you swipe away now, you will forfeit the exact blueprint of their downfall, so you must hold your ground, because the final verdict is rapidly approaching today. Do not feel guilty for the terrible karma that is about to strike them. Your deep empathy makes you want to warn them about the incoming storm. but you must absolutely resist the urge to save them from their own actions. Reaching back into their toxic matrix will only delay your own massive blessing. You must stand completely still and watch the universe clear your name today, because we are standing at the absolute edge of your total divine vindication. They used to laugh at your gentle nature and call you completely naive. They thought your endless forgiveness was a massive weakness they could easily exploit. They drained your bank account and exhausted your precious physical energy for years. But the universe operates on a strict principle of divine energetic return. Every single ounce of light they stole from you has now become a heavy debt, and the spiritual collectors are currently knocking loudly on their front door. You are about to witness the most spectacular reversal in your entire life. The people who treated you as completely replaceable are about to lose everything. Their false friends will abandon them at the very first sign of real trouble. Their hidden financial schemes are unraveling rapidly before their very own eyes. You must remain completely unbothered while the Matrix violently reclaims its own toxic children, because your only job right now is to prepare your vessel for the billionaire shift. Here is the exact verdict we promised at the very beginning of this message. The spiritual federal agents just walked directly into their fake boardroom. They dropped the heavy file of evidence right onto the table, and while they were busy celebrating their fake victories, the cosmic trap officially snapped completely shut on your abusers. The heavy karma they sent your way has violently returned to their doorstep. You are stepping effortlessly into your untouchable, ageless glow. They are physically aging under the crushing weight of their own toxic malice. Their fake empire is shattering into 1,000,000 pieces in real time. They wake up covered in a terrible cold sweat, and they are drowning in absolute panic because they realize they permanently lost your golden energy. They thought they could simply replace your pure light with another victim, but they quickly discovered that your specific frequency is entirely unmatched. Nobody else can act as their infinite human battery the way you did. They are literally starving for energy in the dark right now. Because they crossed the ultimate line, the universe has placed a strict embargo on their ability to siphon light from anyone else. You do not need to say a single angry word to defend your name. You do not need to confront them or seek any petty human revenge. Heaven is completely clearing your beautiful name in rooms you have not even entered yet. The people who believed their terrible lies are suddenly seeing the absolute truth. The mask has completely fallen off the enemy, and the entire world is finally witnessing their rotting and empty souls. The spiritual war is officially over, and you are the undisputed victor. The massive chains of delay that held you back have completely shattered. This brings us to the most glorious part of your divine vindication today. Your long and painful fallow years are violently shifting into a season of massive harvest. Because you stayed completely pure in the darkness, the heavy doors of heavenly provision are flying wide open for you right now. You are standing exactly on the threshold of a massive billionaire shift. The wealth that the enemy tried to steal is being forcefully redirected. This is not about you working harder or hustling for basic survival anymore. This is a pure divine acceleration sweeping directly through your entire timeline. While the matrix collapses around them, effortless favor is pouring over every single aspect of your beautiful life. The dark matrix completely failed to keep your gamma brainwave trapped in fear. Your spiritual receiver is wide open and catching the frequency of massive abundance. You are officially taking your rightful seat as a highly protected kingdom financier. The universe is handing you the exact keys to unlock permanent generational wealth. Your future children will never know the pain of lack because you broke the heavy cycle of poverty today. You can literally feel the heavy physical symptoms rapidly leaving your tired vessel. The intense brain fog that clouded your mornings is completely lifting right now. The sudden awakenings at 3 a.m. will permanently stop tonight. Your spirit no longer needs to act as a panicked radar for incoming dark attacks. The battle is entirely finished, and you are finally entering a deep season of profound divine rest. A blinding white light shield is currently wrapping around your physical body. No spiritual parasite will ever be able to cross this sacred boundary again. Your energy is completely sealed and protected by the highest cosmic authorities. You are operating from a place of absolute sovereignty and unmatched spiritual power. Because you trusted the invisible process, you are the ultimate master of your own physical reality today. All the incredible opportunities you thought you missed are coming back, multiplied. The universe is orchestrating a flawless sequence of sudden miracles just for you. People with massive resources are suddenly feeling an intense urge to bless your life. They do not even know why they are drawn to your magnificent light. They are simply obeying the strict spiritual laws of divine favor that govern your highly protected timeline. Every single tear you cried in your dark room has been fully avenged. The isolation that caused you so much pain has birthed an unbreakable warrior. You stood your ground when the entire world tried to completely break you. You refused to let the darkness change your incredibly pure and loving heart. And because you kept your purity entirely intact, heaven is crowning you with absolute glory in front of your enemies. You must claim your original, untampered breakthrough right this very second. Do not let your logical mind doubt the magnitude of this sudden shift. Human logic is simply the language of the broken and limited matrix. You speak the limitless language of divine creation and effortless manifestation. The spiritual accounts have been fully settled, and your heavy balance is completely paid by the highest divine court. Step boldly into the brilliant light of your completely rewritten destiny. The enemy is forever trapped in the past, while you are launched forward. You have officially broken the heavy cycles of poverty and toxic abuse for good. Stand tall in your divine authority and watch the universe completely rearrange itself for you. The heavy storm has finally passed, and because you never gave up your light, the absolute victory is finally yours to keep forever. There is a voice in the room right now that is pushing back against what you just heard. I want to talk about that voice for a moment. It is the voice of your logical human brain completely panicking. It tells you that this massive breakthrough is simply too good to be true. It whispers that you must keep struggling and fighting to survive. But you must completely ignore that lying voice today. Your logical mind was heavily programmed by the dark matrix to keep you playing small, and they taught you to expect constant disappointment so you would never reach for your true power. They made you believe that massive wealth requires endless physical exhaustion. But human logic is completely useless in the profound realm of spiritual physics. You do not need to figure everything out or analyze how the universe will deliver this miracle. The enemy wants you to doubt the pure, absolute beauty of this current moment. He wants you to look at your bank account and feel immediate despair. He wants you to remember your painful past and feel a heavy sense of guilt. Do not let the adversary steal this magnificent moment from you. Do not let him plant seeds of fear in your newly healed soil. Your only job right now is to completely surrender. I need you to close your eyes and take a very slow breath. Let the heavy tension melt completely out of your tired shoulders. You have carried the massive weight of the entire world for far too long, but you do not have to be the strong one anymore today. Heaven is officially taking over the heavy lifting on your behalf. You are finally allowed to rest in the deep comfort of divine protection. Feel the gentle warmth of absolute peace spreading through your weary chest. The spiritual war that kept you awake at 3 a.m. is entirely finished, and the dark parasites have been permanently banished from your sacred energy field. You are breathing clean and pure spiritual air for the very first time in years. The heavy chains of trauma have fallen off your wrists and shattered on the floor. You might feel a strange sense of emptiness right now. That is simply because you are no longer filled with constant anxiety and deep survival fear. The universe is clearing out all the old toxic debris to make room for your harvest. You must become comfortable with the absolute stillness of this new reality. Peace often feels incredibly strange to a warrior who has only known brutal combat. But you are no longer a tired soldier fighting in the muddy trenches. You are a sovereign entity stepping directly into your divine royal inheritance. The universe is wrapping you in a blanket of unconditional love and absolute safety. Every single mistake you think you made has been completely washed away. You are a pure and highly prepared vessel, ready to receive limitless abundance. Let the profound silence of this moment heal your deepest hidden wounds. You do not need to explain yourself to the people who completely misunderstood you, and you absolutely do not need to prove your massive worth to anyone in the dark matrix. Heaven already knows exactly how beautiful and pure your gentle heart truly is. The divine creator is looking at you with immense pride and absolute joy right now. Your long season of waiting in the dark winter has officially expired, and the warm spring of your miraculous timeline is blooming all around your beautiful life. You are completely safe to drop your heavy shields and open your arms wide. Massive blessings are flowing toward you like a powerful and endless river. You do not need to swim against the heavy current of life anymore. Just let the divine flow carry you forward. The enemy will try to test your new boundaries in the coming days, and they might even send a toxic person back into your life just to see if you will finally react. But you will simply smile and walk away with absolute unbothered grace. You know their cheap tricks, and you refuse to give them your golden energy. You are officially immune to the dark manipulation that used to control your mind. Rest your weary head and know that tomorrow will be completely different. The sun is rising on an entirely new chapter of your beautiful existence. The generational curses of poverty and deep depression stop with your quiet obedience today. You are the ultimate cycle breaker, and you have successfully completed your hardest mission. Heaven is preparing a massive table of abundance in the presence of your enemies. You must lock this profound peace deeply into your physical body today. Do not let the distractions of the outside world pull you back into fear. Whenever you feel anxious, simply remember this exact moment of complete divine clarity. The universe has spoken a permanent blessing over your life, and nobody can reverse it. Your magnificent soul has finally found its true and eternal home in the beautiful light. Before this message ends, I am going to speak something highly prophetic over your life. Now that your spirit is completely aligned, you must strictly anchor this massive shift in the physical realm. Heaven has done the heavy lifting in the unseen world for you. God stood guard when the narcissist tried to completely destroy your perfect peace. But the universe now requires a physical action to lock this divine frequency. The dark matrix wants you to stay trapped in a mindset of extreme poverty. They engineered your financial struggles to make you hoard your resources in deep fear. They know that a terrified soul will never step into the role of a kingdom financier, but you must absolutely break that toxic cycle today. You cannot receive a massive billionaire shift with tightly closed hands. You have been tilling the hardened soil of your beautiful heart during your long winter. Now the glorious season of harvest is finally standing at your front door. But heaven requires a physical anchor to secure your generational blessing forever. A closed fist simply cannot receive new miracles from the divine source. Opening your hands is the ultimate physical sign of your absolute spiritual trust. The money you give today is absolutely not a normal donation. It is a profound and necessary act of spiritual obedience. It is a direct blow to the dark forces that tried to keep you entirely broke. When you give from your place of deep lack, you completely short-circuit the enemy's entire system. You literally force the universe to immediately respond with overwhelming and massive abundance. I strictly command you to unbind a portion of your provision today. Cast it boldly into the deep waters of this ministry as a holy decree. Prove that you completely trust my hand over your earthly security right now. Plant your heavy seed through the secure link pinned below, and watch the heavy windows of heaven part violently above your household. Do not let human logic talk you out of your massive financial breakthrough today. Your physical seed is a strict spiritual contract signed in the unseen realm. It proves that you are no longer a victim begging for small scraps. It declares that you are a highly prepared vessel ready to distribute massive wealth. Heaven is actively looking for pure souls to trust with the billionaire shift. Your quiet obedience today qualifies you to receive the heavy crown of absolute financial sovereignty. You have survived the brutal storm and earned your divine crown. But you must always remember that this profound breakthrough is not for you alone. Your living testimony is the exact bridge someone else will use to escape their own toxic matrix. Do not hoard this blinding light for yourself in the dark. You must actively partner with heaven to rescue the deeply lost and broken souls. Share this specific message with one soul crying out in the dark tonight. When you plant a precious seed of hope in others, you multiply your own divine harvest. There is someone sitting in deep isolation who desperately needs to hear this exact truth. Send this frequency to them and become the ultimate signpost of God's perfect grace. Your single action could literally save a life from the edge of total despair. The algorithm will actively try to hide this highly classified frequency from you in the future. The Matrix does not want you receiving this level of daily spiritual nourishment. Your physical action today completely locks the heavy door against their interference. Subscribe to this sacred sanctuary and seal your protective armor against the enemy forever. Protect your daily access to the raw divine truth. Leave your final prophetic decree in the comments section below. Type 777 to permanently confirm your new royal status in the spiritual realm. Let the entire unseen world witness your absolute and final victory today. Take one last deep breath and stand completely tall in your new authority. The massive spiritual war is officially over, and you are the undisputed victor. You never have to fight for basic human survival again. The massive wealth of the wicked is rapidly transferring directly into your clean hands. Every single cell in your tired body is currently regenerating with pure golden light. The heavy brain fog is gone, and your divine intuition is sharper than ever before. You are the ultimate cycle breaker your ancestors deeply prayed for in the dark. The white light shield of heaven goes before you to clear every single dangerous path. Step forward into the brilliant light of your massive billionaire shift today. May your beautiful heart remain pure and your heavy cup endlessly overflow with divine favor. I release the ultimate blessing of profound peace over your entire bloodline right now. Walk fiercely in your new absolute power. You are eternally loved, and you are finally completely free.